everyone, I'm Allie with Potomac Beads. Join me in making your whole set of earrings with just some 20 gauge wire, learning how to make some ear wires, some spirals, and even a little charm. If you need any materials, remember to check out the links below to shop with us online. Also remember to comment and let people know your tips and tricks for working with wire. If you need any materials, again, gather them up. Some pliers, you're going to want a round nose, a needle nose, or a flat nose pliers, as well as a wire cutter. If you've got a mallet and a hammering block, gather that up too. If not, doesn't matter, you can do without. So when it comes to wire working, definitely practice really helps. I have 20 gauge wire here. 20 gauges wire is perfect because you can use it to make your own ear wires. It's strong enough to hold its shape, and it also can fit through most beads. If you don't have 20 gauge wire, I would definitely recommend getting some. 20 gauge wire here that I have, I'm using artistic wire in the non-tarnished silver color. I've gone ahead and take my pliers or my cutters, and I've cut a total of 1 foot of wire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by making my little spiral or my little kind of treble clef in there, adding my bead on, doing my loop, and coming down and creating a little loop at the bottom to hang my little charm on. What you want to have is a round nose pliers. Go down to the bottom of that full foot of wire, hold where you can see but you can't really feel the wire coming out of the top. Too close to the end and the pliers won't want to turn. Hold there, and you're going to turn over and make the smallest loop that you can make, just rolling the pliers in your hands, or if it's more comfortable, pulling the wire towards you. Once you have that tiny little loop, go ahead in with your flat nose pliers, and you're going to take the wire and bend it around. The wire is going to kind of fling around as you're working with it, and do one little tight loop, pushing the wire and holding it so that way you're holding those 2 wires kind of nice and flat. After you have 1 tight loop, you're going to hold your wire and we're going to create a nice little kind of swooping loop that opens up. So right now we're in the middle there, and I'm going to bend the wire in towards the project rather than away from, just holding that loop with your fingers. The wire will be very forgiving. And if you need to, you can hold with the pliers if you're not going to be as comfortable with your fingers. You're going to bend the wire around just like you've been doing, but don't complete the loop. Just make it nice and kind of open, holding then with your hands, and bring the wire nice and gently towards the top. You don't want to over bend it, or what's going to happen is it's going to keep those bends in it. Just with your fingers, again, create a nice kind of fluid loop. This is where I did say it takes practice. After you have your fluid loop, go ahead and sit this 12-inch piece of wire down and do the same thing with another 12-inch piece. After you have the second piece done, go ahead and figure out exactly how big your curl is and how big you need that suede loop to be. After you have them matching, go ahead in with your wide jaw, flat nose, or your needle nose pliers and bend up so you have kind of a 45-degree angle there. Straighten out your wire and add on one of your 6mm glass pearls. I'm using the glass pearls in the bright white color. If you need to, because of the coating on some of the pearls, you can take a reamer and go through, or what you can do is kind of twist the pearl in your hand as you put it on to your wire. Push that pearl down towards that nice little spiral, making sure if you already have one complete that they match nice and easily. If you need to, you can kind of go in and pull and manipulate the wire however you need to get them to match. Up at the top, I'm going to do in a nice exaggerated loop. Going in with my round nose pliers, I'm going to hold right above the bead, back about halfway on my round nose pliers. Bend a little bit so that your pliers are touching your bead there, and I'm going to bring the wire, that long piece, over the top. Adjust my pliers so I can cross the wire over the top of the bead. It's going to sit right to the front of it. Pull that up just the tiniest little bit to make it oval in shape. Hold with your flat nose pliers and wrap this bigger wire here, if you see me holding it up, wrap that bigger wire around the top of the pearl one time and down. That top of the wire now should be coming out directly beside and almost looking like it's going to be part of the swirl. With your hand, you're going to take this wire and mimic the swirl, bringing the wire over from the side. When the wire comes over from the side then, you're going to take your round nose pliers again. Right after the swirl or the loop, hold again kind of towards the middle of the pliers. You can see where I'm holding right here. Take that wire, go around the bottom of the pliers, readjust your pliers so that you're holding it comfortably, and you have that nice little loop there. From here, go in with your wire cutters. The flat side of your wire cutters is going to go as close as you can to the other wire that's there, and just give a nice little tight snip. Go ahead and close that up, making sure that you don't have any openings in your wire. Again, it's going to get kind of that little treble clef look, and you have a nice little spiral with the loop hanging to the bottom. What I'm going to do now is take this remaining wire, go in here, and again create another little loop. You want that loop to kind of be as tiny as possible, and this time instead of one rotation, we're going to do two. We're going around once, a full rotation, and you notice that I open my jaw of my pliers, push the wire around about a quarter of a turn, open, push, open, push. Once you have two complete turns, you're going to take your pliers, just like we did on the previous one, and bend it up so that you have that nice 45-degree angle there after the bead. If you need to straighten out any portion of your wire, you can do so with your hands, or you can grab a nylon jaw pliers. Go ahead and put a pearl on this side here of your wire. Again, if it's giving you a little trouble, push through with a reamer and then spiral it on. Any bead will work for this portion. From here, what I want you to do is, holding the spiral and the pearl flat, take your pliers and bend right above the pearl, just a little bit after, back towards the pearl. That's going to get that wire to kind of sit back, so that if you look at your pearl from the front and the spiral, you don't see any of that wire. Grab your round nose pliers, again, right there, kind of 3/4 of the way, or 1/4 of the way back, maybe 2/3, and make a loop. Bend that loop so that it sits, if you look on the side, directly on top of that little spiral. Go ahead in and cut. If you have a little opening, take your pliers, bend the wire a tiny little bit to close that up. Last piece that we're going to make is our ear wire. So we still have wire left here, and we're going to take the wire and make a loop just like we've been doing, but we're not going to spiral it. If you want to, you can get creative and spiral it as well. What I'm going to do is make my loop and let my loop kind of hang out towards the front. So I don't want it to be, symmetrical to the back. And I'm going to use my fingers. You can use a mandrel, you can use a thread burner, you can use a Bic or a Sharpie marker, whatever size you want your ear wire to be. I'm just going to hold and make sure it matches in length, doing one and then the other. Everything that I've been doing, keep in mind it's easiest to get the best fit if you do one and then the other one, and then come back and spiral doing one set and then the other one, rather than one whole complete earring and then the other. I'm just doing it that way for time saving sake, so we can keep going here. I'm going to bend the back of the ear wire up just a little bit, again kind of getting a nice little angle there so that way it stays in my ear. I now have these 3 pieces of my earring, and what I want to do is put it all together, but I also want it to be nice and strong. Here is, if you have it, a hammer and a stainless steel bench block. What I'm going to do is bring that in, and I'm going to hold it off the side so that way my bead does not get hit, and I'm going to hammer down just a couple little hammers to get a nice kind of stiffened and hammered look. Flipping it over, I'm going to take right on that loop, do a couple little hammers. You can do both sides if you want, but it's honestly not necessary. From here, I'm going to push that off to the side, grab my ear wire, and I'm going to grab my ear wire and basically hammer from the middle of the turn to kind of the front. I don't want to hammer where it's going to go in my ear, and I don't want to hammer the back ear wire. From there then, I'm going to grab my little charm that's hanging on the bottom. Go ahead, same deal, hold it off to the side, hammer the charm. Now we have many other wire working videos that you can look at in order to learn more about the wire working technique if you want. Now what I'm going to do is grab those pliers again, start at the top, hold my ear wire, hold with my pliers, and bend that opening to the front. That way I keep my circle. Put my ear wire on and close it up. Here at the bottom, I'm going to open up my big loop, slide my earring on and close it up. And there I have my beautiful wire earring. These also work great as little window charms, as charms that you hang in your car too. And again, if you make them at the same time, they look a little bit better and a little bit more symmetrical, rather than making one 3 days ahead on a live Twitch broadcast. As always with this, again, please comment below if you have any ideas, suggestions, and ways that you make it easier to wire work and what works for you. Remember, with all of these, if you do need any materials too, you can check the links below me, as well as look through your bead stash. You probably have 20 gauge wire and you may not even know it. 18 gauge wire will work, but just keep in mind that you might have a little bit of a sore ear if your holes are not stretched. Also keep in mind that you need to get the beads onto that 18 gauge wire. I would avoid using 22 gauge wire because it's going to be too thin and be a little flimsy, even if you're going in and hammering it down. Remember also to push that little subscribe button there in the corner to get regular updates from us here at Potomac Beads. While in this crazy world, make sure to challenge yourself, keep your brain engaged, and try out some new skills like wire working, which you may have been putting off. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and that's all from us here at Potomac Beads.